Yeah, you thought I was going to die, wasn't you? Anyway, hello everyone, Treecks here, and welcome to Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels Part 2. No power-up run. I'm staying small Mario the entire game. I'm not even going to grab invincibility stars, that's also a no-go. Only 1-ups I'm able to grab, but I haven't seen any of those yet. I know there are a lot of them scattered around through here and there. However, I completely forget where they all are, because I usually don't bother getting them. Especially in the remake of this level, which is a part of this game, which is a part of Super Mario All-Stars, where game overs don't mean anything, because even game overing puts you back at the world where you are. Unlike this game, where you're thrown back to the world's beginning. If you game over in 5, 1, 2, 3 or 4, no matter what, you get thrown back to 5-1. However, the remake of this game, you get thrown back to the beginning of the level, nothing more than that. It does cancel out your checkpoints, so it does have a little meaning if you die in 5-3, for example. And you were halfway, more than halfway done with that level, you are thrown back to the beginning of the level, so the checkpoint is taken out. But that makes that game way too easy, and therefore the lives insignificant, so I never gather them in that version. I haven't played this version as much, that's probably why I don't remember how the game overs worked in this game, because it isn't until recently that this game was released here in the West, so it was practically impossible to play him. But we can now, it's on the Nintendo Wii U and the Wii. It's on the Wii U as well, automatically because of that. Because the Wii U is the Wii upgraded, technically. But it's also on Nintendo Switch Online. That's where I'm playing it right now. I do have it on the Wii as well. There should be piranha plants up here. Apparently the memory of the Famicom couldn't process them in time. Sorry. I had to swallow a burp there. Right, this is a tricky elevator section. Elevators aren't that wide, as you can see. Ooh, this is a very tricky section. Mario can run over one space gaps if you're fast enough, but you do need a running start here. Because you have only one block to use to start your running, and that's usually not enough. So the trick is to just jump a little bit to the left of those blocks. Hold right, and while landing on top of the blocks you were jumping from, will put you in a running start and therefore able to cross that gap. Right, 5-3. This is the first instance of a maze level. You could stay on the platform and then move further to the right, but it will loop you back around. The continuation of the level is actually up this pipe, so you need to use the paratroopers to get up here. Be careful not to get hit by the piranha plant, like I almost did. Right, just like 4-3, this is another level where bullet bills start appearing. So be careful not to move too fast to the right of the screen, because you never know where the bullet bills might spawn. It's random where they appear. And apparently they've stopped. Right, and this should be it. Yep. And we got a 1-up. I have no idea why. One thing I've noticed is that my timer was on 286, ending on a 6, and my coin count is 66. So that might be the trigger. If your coin count is a double digit, and then your timer, whenever you hit the flagpole, is that same digit at the end, that might give you the 1-up. It's pretty tricky to accomplish, to be honest, if that's the case. I might look it up later on, see if that's indeed the case. And if it is, it's not really something you can easily repeat, because the timer is hard to stop at a certain point, as you can see. They're not actually seconds, they're ticking along a lot faster than normal seconds do. And even getting that exact coin count on a double digit is also not something you can normally trigger on command. Because you're dependent on how many coins the level gives you. Right. Final normal Bowser fight. I'm going to get back up here. There we go. This is a little easier than 4-4's boss, because the blocks here are a little more to the left. The 4-4 boss really had that blocks placed in a really irritating spot where you can barely jump over Bowser, so you're kind of forced to walk under him. Which is also really hard because of the stupid fire bar that was there. This one had a Podoboo, so it was not that tricky. I tend to trip over the fire bars a lot more than I do over the Podoboos. Jump, please. I did not mean for you to jump on top of me. I should have known there was a Hammer Bro there, but once again, this is a level I usually skip. Because the normal trick is to jump over Hammer Bros immediately, like I said earlier. And I'm not counting that death, because I was clearly already past that hammer. That was already in the ground. There was no way that should have been able to hit me. But like I said, jump over the Hammer Bros immediately. This one is extra tricky, because you need to... Why am I doing that? I'm losing it, guys. I should be able to have some skill at Mario. I was doing just fine. You know what? Let's reset my life count. I'm at 1 life. I'm not going to do this world with 1 life. Let's go back to 3. Sometimes dying can be a deliberate tactic to use. It's a fair strategy. If the game doesn't punish you too hard for dying. In this case, putting you back at the world's beginning. And since this is the first level, there's not really a penalty for dying. So might as well use it if it comes to my needs. This guy's really annoying because he's placed very poorly. There we go. See, I can get past that part. This guy is not really that easy to pass because you can't jump over him. But you can go under him. There's some stuff over here, mushrooms and poison mushrooms. Alright, wind. We've seen a little bit of wind in 5.1 already. This game also introduces wind, which as you can see, if you do nothing, automatically pushes you. It even affects your jumps. And it stops here apparently. Not too bad. See, I can do 6.1. I need to play this level, or this game in its whole more often. I know these levels because I do play it 100% often enough, but not all the time. So some of these levels are a little less known to me. This game is way too fun to speedrun. Usually I just play it on the safe side and go with power-ups, just grab a fire flower in the first level and then have an extra hit to get past some of the trickier spots. So making it easier not to die, but I don't have those things right now. I'm playing it without mushrooms. Go away. I don't like you, Blooper. The cheeps I can deal with because they're on an easy pattern. There's Koopas underwater now. That's also something the first game did not do. Well, turtles are technically sea creatures, some of them are. Although Koopas are intended to be land turtles, so... might be a reference to sea turtles. But once again, not every kind of turtle lives underwater. Koopas normally don't. Apparently they can do that in this game. And some other games. Because we've seen it more often. This is not the only game that does that. Right, another bridge level. Which usually comes after a underwater level. Another flying cheap level. More instant death flying around. Ooh. I was kind of lucky there. Sometimes if you think you get stuck in a jump, oh, this is not going well, just commit to the direction you're going. It might save you. Usually holding back can do more damage than just going on. You're going to die anyway if you think you're on a dangerous path, so might as well just keep trying. Right, final level. I have 2 tries for it. I'm not a big fan of this castle. I know which one this is. This is another one of those pick the right path levels, otherwise you're going to loop. First one is at the bottom. Usually an indication of the best way to go is just look at the path you're able to take and then consider which one of them is the hardest to take. And the hardest path is usually the correct one. I'm really bad at going under Hammer Bros, by the way. I always start running too late. They always jump on top of me. I know the usually best way to go past Hammer Bros is just jump on top of them to get rid of them immediately. But I'm very bad at that as well, because usually I jump right into the hammer. Because I'm pretty bad at calculating my jump of when I'm going to land on him in between hammers. Usually I misjudge that and I'm always landing on top of a hammer. Right? In this case, obviously the bottom path is the hardest one to take, so it's going to be the correct one. Wait for the Podoboo, wait for the big fire bar, which has killed me a lot in the past because I was going too fast. Ah! Damn you, Bowser. Yeah, you need to get lucky with those. Sometimes you can jump correctly and then the game will decide, no, I'm going to place the next fire right over here, so you can't really help anything. Damn you, game. Well, we're not done yet. I'm going to return to 6-4. Meet you there. Right, this is about the point where I died. So I really can't understand myself sometimes, and I'm struggling with a level, and then I come back to it and I do it in one go without even doing too much effort. Went really smoothly, as you can see. Really don't understand why some attempts you can't get anything done, and then the other one, bam, one go. World record, almost. Alright, 7-1. This is where things get real tricky, I can remember. World 7. Get some wind right away. Usually I don't mind the wind, but ever since Super Mario World 2 introduced... Super Mario Maker 2 introduced its wind, I'm no longer a fan. Even though I made a very annoying wind level myself. That nobody has been able to beat so far. Super expert material. So who am I to judge? Alright, where are we going? Really need to gather more coins. I usually find myself picking up too few of them, and therefore getting these game overs more early than I should be able to get them. But hey, I finally entered the bonus for once. Getting some coins was not the biggest one. Right, remember in World 5 where we used... Oops! That was not what I was going for. Let's try again. What I was saying. Remember World 5 where you had to go into a pipe because otherwise the level would loop around? Same case here. Well, I'm going off here. Maybe easier to do it like this. Once again, continuing with the elevator will just take you back to the beginning of the level, doing it all over again. However, going into this pipe is where the level continues, even though it throws you in the bonus. But this is how the level continues, you can't continue it otherwise. I believe we're getting greeted by Lakitu, yes, I remembered correctly. Get rid of all these spikes he's throwing around. Shoo. Shoo. Thank you. Because he's going to follow you around for the most part of the level. I went right through him, come on. For some reason when you're standing on top of these small platforms he won't throw his spikes. Or spinies. What is these things called again? Yeah, I needed to commit because I knew there was a red piranha plant coming up. Like I said in World 5 earlier, whenever you think the jump is going too far or not far enough, just commit. Might as well try. In this case I was rewarded. Alright, this is the first level where these green trampolines are actually used as a mechanic. Something you have to use. As you can see there are very large gaps in this level. Impossible to jump normally. We need to make use of these trampolines to get past these gaps. And they're going to make it real tricky because as you can see the platforms you need to land on are quite small. The wind is not helping either. Mushroom in that block if you need it. I need it, but I'm not allowed to get it. Ha 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 ha. No, I'm not funny. Right, going smoothly so far. You can skip this part. As you can see, you can stay in the air long enough to make it all the way to the next trampoline. This was the final one. We end here. We're not completely done with the level yet, but we're off the trampolines now. This is where things get real tricky. One block jumps with wind. At least the wind stops now. And made it first try. This is one of the most difficult levels in the game, as you can see. And I do it in the first try. I might have to do it again, because the next level is also one of the hardest levels in the game. Not a fan. 7-4 is my least favorite castle. I really hate this place. Right, tricky elevator jumping. I'm too late, so I can't make it. As you can see, real tricky elevator jumping. If you're not timed correctly, it's impossible to make it. The platforms will have sunk into the pit before you even get the chance. You can use this block over here to get a little higher up while starting. You can grab the mushroom if you want. You can see this makes it a little more doable. Come on, Mario, we can do this. Let's clear this level. I don't want to do World 7 over again. Right, 1-up chance here. This is the one reason you don't have to game over in this castle. If you kick this Koopa to the right, there's enough Buzzy Beetles here to score yourself a 1-up. You can do this every single time if you make it this far into the level. There's not a lot of 1-up opportunities in this game, so I might as well use it. Most of the 1-ups are just hidden in invisible blocks like they are in the first Mario game. However, they only appear once. There's none in this level, by the way, but whenever you grab a 1-up mushroom that's hidden in an invisible block, it won't appear again. So you need to be careful with those. Ah! Why didn't you jump? I assumed he was going to jump. Otherwise I wouldn't have been standing there. This is one of the biggest reasons why this is my least favorite castle. Not just because of the platforming in the castle itself being one of the trickiest you have to do during this game, but also because the Bowser fight is probably the hardest one. As you can see, it has a fire bar, he has throwing hammers, making it impossible to jump over him. Because of the fire bar, practically impossible to go under him as well. This might take a few tries. Right, let's follow you again. Making sure I won't game over here. Still a possibility, of course, because I can die before I get to that point. If I do that twice, I'm back to 7-1. Yeah, you need to get real lucky with the placement when it comes to that Bowser fight, before you even get that far. This is going to take too long. I'm going to cut, because I'm running out of patience here already. Might as well keep the video going. One more try through the level, otherwise I'm just going to show off the Bowser fight. This is a level you can get tired of quickly, even when watching a video, so I'm not going to bother you with too many attempts. It's not like I'm going to game over anyway if I get this far every single time. Because I can get a 1-up every single time. Assuming I don't screw up. Which I usually do, but usually not before that point. Right, let's try this again. Could have gone immediately, I see. Yeah, that's something you're going to have to guess for. The pattern in which Bowser usually jumps is a little unpredictable. As you can see, he sometimes jumps immediately after landing again, but he does not always do that. Another trick you can use is, as you can see, sometimes there's a little gap between the hammers. You can try and get through those, but that's also really tricky to do. Usually patience is a virtue here. Getting underneath the hammers is not a problem, but the fire bar needs to be in the correct position before you can really capitalize, like so. As I said, patience. Just wait for the right moment. And it shouldn't be a problem.